The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. We all woke up on the 7th of December 2025 to hear a very beautiful news. And the news was there was a successful coup in Benin and Patrice Talon has been overthrown, and we're all excited. But according to the current update that is coming from the Interior Minister, that the coup was failed and that the other military that are supporting Patrice Talon successfully failed the coup. So for that matter, currently as we are speaking, Benin is now under the control of democracy. According to reports, the military in Benin are divided. There are some that are supporting the military and there are some that are supporting the democratic President Talon. These people that came out and declared that there was a coup and they have overthrown Patrice Talon are the ones that are fighting for a change. And they are also telling us that there are insecurities in the northern part of Benin that the president isn't attending to. And they talked about agriculture. They talked about a lot of things that are needed to be done in Benin that Patrice Talon, the current president, is doing nothing. And that was what motivated them to take power so that they can cause a change in Benin. But unfortunately, this joy died off. There are a lot of people in Africa, like in our militaries, that wish they can cause a change. But the problem is the majority of these people are still not aware of what is happening in the country. So they are always in bed with the politicians and they'll go to any length in order to protect the politicians.
Beninese, Beninese, dear winners, in the early morning of this Sunday, December 7th, 2025, a group of soldiers has started a mutiny with the aim of destabilizing the state and its institutions. In the face of this situation, the Beninese armed forces and their faithful Irashi, to their oath, remained Republican. Their response kept control of the situation and to defeat the... Also, does the government invite populations to be moved normally to their occupations? I thank you, dear winners, on this Sunday. December 7, 2025 US. Defense and security forces, after a well-thought-out reflection and to give a landmark to our country, have decided to take our responsibilities following the multiple abuses by Mr. Patrice Talon. It is about on the plan safety, the continuous degradation, the security situation in northern Benin, l'ignorance and the neglect of the situation of our brothers to the front, and especially that of their abandoned families through the politics, while by Mr. Patrice Talon, despite the multiple promises relayed in grand pompe on the media, the Military Committee for the Refoundation CMR decided the November Constitution 2025 is suspended. All institutions are dissolved. The activities of political parties suspended until new order. Land borders, maritime air borders of Benin are closed until new order. The seizure of power at this time translates the firm will of the Military Committee of the Refoundation, excluding all social strata of our country without any distinction, in the continuation of the transition and restore the national cohesion. The National Army will exercise, until further notice, the fullness of the state of the Benin. All civil servants of the Benin, all the workers in our cities and countryside, wherever they are, must continue to ensure normally their daily tasks with more faith and discipline. As for the valiant populations, the Army invites them to go freely to their occupations in the peace, and to the international community. LA Military Committee Refounding reassures them that the international commitments of the Benin and human rights will be respected, Finally, the army solemnly commits itself to honor, to the people of Benin, the hope of a truly new work, where it wins, the fraternity, the justice, and the symbolic work of our national unity. Long live the army! Long live the refoundation of our dear homeland. Long live the Benin. The republic or death, the people first.
They are aware that the continent is suffering, yet they pledge their loyalty to these democratically elected presidents instead of pledging their loyalty to the continent and the country. And that is the reason to which we are seeing that these politicians are doing what they are doing in our country, because they know that they have the military behind them. Like what we saw in the Sahel, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso leaders who took office. Before Captain Ibrahim Traore came into office, we had one who was Paul Henry Damiba in Burkina Faso, who overthrew the democratic leader, and he claimed that he took this man out because of a lot of reasons, insecurity and backwardness of the country, only for us to see that Paul Henry Damiba was still in bed with France. And the main reason to which he decided to take office, he was doing more than what even the democratic leader was doing. So Captain Ibrahim Traore decided that he was coming to overthrow Henry Paul Damiba so that we can have what we are seeing in Burkina Faso today. So there are people who still pledge their loyalty to the oppressor and to the president. So for that matter, it is very difficult for us to see the change that we are looking for. And there are a lot of people that have the courage to make sure that they cause this coup. This is a very sad news, because it turns out that these people who actually did this coup are people who are thinking about the people in Benin. And it is maybe not people who are working for France. So this coup that failed isn't a good news at all. And we are expecting that the rest of our military men who will want to stage a coup should at least go and look for tutorials from Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso leaders as to how to give us a successful coup, if only your motive is to come and change the narrative in your country. We are so tired of all this pain that we are going through, all in the name of democracy. Democracy is the reason to which we are not ready to go forward. It isn't that the Africans don't know what we are supposed to do in order to go forward, but it's because of the system called democracy. That is what is making us not to be ready to fight for our own freedom, because the people that we have as leaders are doing nothing but rather to protect the system that is keeping the African poor. So no matter how much we try to set ourselves free, it becomes difficult because the systems cripples the African. And until we are able to move away from this system called democracy, it will be very difficult for the African to be free. And we must be free. And we can only be free when we are able to set ourselves free from everything that the colonizer is using to keep us backwards. And that is why Captain Ibrahim Traore will always tell us that we are not in a democratic state, but in a revolutionary state. And they made it clear to us that the reason to which we are not moving forward is as a result of the oppressor's rule that our leaders so cherish. So we need to come together united to fight for this Africa that we are looking for. And it's so shameful that we are having people in Africa who are still ready to be slaves and that will defend everything slavery. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make African great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Benin.